I want to get into my favorite game of the week, and that was the Eagles beating the Rams 33-26.
Barn burner.
Barn burner first. So I want to. There's no other place to showcase this information, Albert, and so I'll bring it to you. I had a high end special teams coordinator break down the block for me.
Oh,
I think I'm
awesome.
going to put it in our put it in my weekly grades column, which I'm working on as
Love it.
we speak. And what stood out to me was the fact that, and really, this team is incredibly selfless. The two guys to fight of Jordan Davis don't rush the kicker at all. They don't rush the kicker. They're jacking up the defenders
Yep.
so that Jordan Davis can rush the kicker.
Yep.
And there's something so and if and everybody listening at home is thinking, "Oh, duh. Well, why wouldn't you do that?" Try getting 11 guys who are all pinning their ears back and trying to make a glory play. Try getting like 9 of them to be like, okay, never mind. It's up to you two guys. It's
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get after the quarterback. Everybody wants to get after the kicker.
Yep.
That was an incredibly selfless play by a lot of the Eagles players on that kick block. And then Jordan Davis just looks like Christian McCaffrey out there with the ball.
I see that.
God.
I see that even with my fifth grade team, Connor, and the sixth graders we're coaching now too. Is can't get them to hold outside contain. They're always just looking to make a play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, neither can the Bengals. So, it's not like,
And
it's all good.
But yeah, like I think that like to me, what the Eagles comeback was about two things, right? So, and Jordan Davis is a part of this. It's about two things. It's about number one, I think this like our one question with the Eagles, even after they won the Super Bowl last year, was like, how can this team play from behind and play out of a hole? And they were in a deep hole. And not only were they in a deep hole, like they go into halftime down and it gets worse immediately, right? Like where you have the strip sack and then the Rams score. Now it's 26-7, and it looks like that thing is over. So that's number one, is proving you can dig yourself out of that sort of hole with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Number two, their best players showed up over and over and over and over again down the stretch of this one. It was Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on offense. It was Jordan Davis with that play, who they invest a first round pick in with the kick block. I just think it's a good example of like how loaded that team is and how many different places they have to turn and how big their core of players is, right? Like Jalen Carter is, one of the best defensive tackles when he's not spitting on people in football, right? And
Even when
but they have another guy like that in Jordan Davis, who's a physical freak, right? AJ Brown is maybe maybe the toughest cover in football, but they have Devontae Smith, who is also making plays for them. And when Saquon Barkley gets shut down, they have those two guys to turn to. Even being able to ride out the loss of Lane Johnson, I just thought it was like such an impressive win in that you can see how balanced their roster is and how big their core of players is. Like where a lot of there are a lot of teams that have maybe 4 or 5 core guys that you really rely on when the chips are in the middle of the table. It's like the Eagles have a dozen of them,
Here's why I loved the game yesterday. Do you remember when Penn State was struggling with their deep passing game and someone asked James Franklin, "Why don't you just chuck it deep?"
Yeah.
Do you remember this? And James Franklin literally stared off into space and he said, "You're making me uncomfortable with how dumb that question is. Like do you think that I'm just going to drop back and whip the ball 30 yards downfield because why?" And the reason that I bring that up is because that's what Eagles fans sounded like to me. And I should say unknowledgeable Eagles fans sounded like to me after 2 weeks, where it was like, we're not throwing the ball downfield enough. We're not throwing the ball downfield enough.
They were all firing Kevin Patullo at halftime.
Right. And some of them booed him. Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys don't want the reputation.
But if we want to talk about like being grateful and like Giants fans being spoiled, I mean, they won the Super Bowl 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Like months ago.
But
almost the worst thing that could have happened was for Jalen Hurts to come out and throw 10 passes of 10 yards or more, complete, I think, 8 of them,
Yeah.
and throw 24 total passes in the second half. But here's my thing, and I think that this is what's important about this Eagles win. This did not ignite a passing attack. Okay, let me say this again. This did not ignite a passing attack. Next week, the Eagles are still going to try to play ground control football because that's their ticket to winning football games. It takes the ball, it prevents Jalen Hurts from having to do too much when he's under pressure. And I'm not calling Jalen Hurts a bad under pressure quarterback. I'm just saying that statistics bear out that when he is under a great deal of pressure,
Right.
bad things tend to happen, and more bad things can happen than that during that situation than simply just waiting for Saquon Barkley to break out and waiting
Well,
for the run game to wear down your opponent.
And the run game keeps a pass rush at bay. Like it's just such a simple thing. And sometimes I don't understand why people don't get this, but you can't be as aggressive if another team's running the ball well. You also can't be as creative because that team that's running the ball well isn't going to be in bad down and distance situations where it's obvious they're going to throw it so you can dial stuff up. So like that's the core of the Eagles is like the Eagles are generally not in long yardage a lot, which makes things much easier on the quarterback. And that's not a knock on Jalen Hurts. That's the way it is for a lot of quarterbacks, you know? So it'd be stupid to go away from that and try to turn Jalen Hurts into something he isn't. I think the problem is too many people like look at the position and are only willing to assess it one way.
Right.
When it's been proven now in the NFL over the last, I'd say 15 years or so, that you can win playing different ways at that position. And there are tons and tons of examples of it, you know, like Cam Newton begot Josh Allen, who's like, I think a souped up version of what Cam was in the way that they play him, and has become a much better passer than Cam was, but a lot of his roots were the same. And that was the way he was developed, you know? And, and Jalen's gradually gotten better at the other parts of the game, but that doesn't mean you go away from what got him there.
Right. And I think that's the confusion is it's like, you know, we have this idea that we can win every game by 70 points and to everything has to be flourishing and all of our best fantasy football players are going to touch the ball and score a ton of points. It doesn't work that way. And it's almost smart. Well, it is smarter to stop trying to pacify everyone on the team and to break it down into component parts and play the most efficient football to try to win a game. And it just, you know, I feel like the Eagles have that formula.
All right.
I feel like, go ahead.
I'll give you, I just looked this up. I think I have this right. The Eagles were in third and more than 5 3 times in the second half yesterday. That tells you everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Jalen Hurts made plays on, I think he converted all 3 of them, which is great. It's awesome. You know what I mean? That's what you're looking for. But it's a lot different if he's in that sort of situation more often. Keeping him out of those situations, to me at least, is what you're looking to do. And the Eagles have been able to do that by being dominant in the run game. You know, some teams do it by being proficient throwing the ball on early downs. And it's not that Philly can't do that, but the run game has helped them manage those down and distance situations, which make things so much easier on the quarterback.
No doubt. As for the Rams, I don't think this is a game where, I mean, listen, you rush for over 150 yards, most of which from your lead dog back, who's getting almost 5 yards a carry. You know, Puka Nacua gets 11 for 112. Outside of that final quarter, and again, I mean, 2 blocked kicks, which is very clearly someone on the special team side missing something. But at the same time, Rams special teams had the Eagles in a back pedal for a lot of the game because they were knuckleball kicking and it was dominating field position. And so I can't come out in here and say like, oh, this was a special teams loss or it was anything. I think it's just one of those weird fluke, Like,
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't
just one of
know.
those weird fluke
I mean,
weekends. Doesn't
yeah,
make me think any differently of the Rams, right?
I mean, I do like that. Like the Eagles have like it's the two guys blocking the kicks are Carter and Davis because it's like it shows like what committing to special teams that way and having your best players give that sort of effort on special teams can do for a team. I think that's like another like I hate to use the buzzword again, but another culture thing. Like that you have guys of that level that are making plays on special teams. But yeah, I mean, I can't. The one thing I would say, like, and I'm just kind of like looking back at it now, is I think if you're a Chris Shula and the defense, it's that 17 play drive to take the lead there in the fourth quarter. That's going to keep you up at night.
Right.
That the Eagles were able to convert 3rd and 10. Hold on, I'm looking at it now. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 3, and then score a touchdown in 4th and goal.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to keep you up at night. And I think that maybe is like a growing thing. That's a growth thing for the Rams defense. We know they have the players up front, right? Like we know, and they've done a phenomenal job of replacing Aaron Donald's production with the crew of guys they have: Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, all those guys, right? So they've done a fantastic job of building that front. They've philosophically gone away from investing at corner, and you wonder if it costs them here.
Right. Yeah.
Because I know I've heard this term with them.
I mean, Emmanuel Forbes and Kobe Turner got beat up in this game. Beat up.
Yeah. Kobe Durant.
Right? I'm sorry. Kobe Durant.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I've heard them use this phrase before, right? The Rams corners are in today's NFL, corners are speed bumps, not stop signs. Okay. That like, it's tough to invest in those guys because in the end, the passing game, they have such an advantage that it's going to be tough to just stop the best receivers in the league. So you're better off investing in guys who can get to the quarterback than you are guys in the back end. If something like this happens to them again, where Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown just ate the Rams up late in this game with key catches, not that it was big play after big play, but they just kind of consistently got them in the critical situations. If you're the Rams, do you look at maybe trying to invest in a corner at the trade deadline?
I mean, we all thought that they might try to bring Jalen Ramsey back, and look what a good decision that's been for Pittsburgh. I mean, he's a dog out there for that defense.
But even that, I don't know if that answers that way. I'll be interested to see if they pivot a little on that philosophy.
Yeah. I mean,
again, a really good team. And I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not backing off of that. Like I think that this doesn't do much to knock down what I think of the Rams. I still think that's a really, really good team.
You're starting to convert me because it's not about style points. It's about having as many options as humanly possible to win a football game. And that's why I still like the Eagles so much because I mean, if we based it on early season style points in terms of a Super Bowl favorite 2 years ago, how obsessed would we have been of the Miami Dolphins hanging 70 on the Denver Broncos, right? And it just doesn't matter because they only had very few avenues toward winning a football game.
I think that's you use the right phrase there. To me, like what it is in the NFL when you get to the playoffs, right? And this is the stuff I think people can look for now with teams like the Eagles, who can win the game the most amount of ways.
Right.
And what I mean by that is like if something is taken away from you or something isn't working, then is there somewhere else you can turn? And I think it's really magnified in the playoffs for two reasons. Number one, the teams in the playoffs are generally talented enough to take away what you do well. And the level of focus on an opponent in the playoffs is heightened where you're going to do more to take away what another team does well. The other thing is the weather. The weather can really kind of affect the different ways that teams can win games in the playoffs. And so, when we get to January and February, like I think you have to look at the teams that can win the game the most amount of ways. Like I almost feel like that's what got the Lions last year, is that like in the end, their defense could not get stops. They could not win a game on defense because they were so beat up. And so when they needed that stop against the Commanders, they simply could not get it, right? So I think that's what it is. It's like who can win the game the most amount of ways. And the Eagles clearly can win the game a ton of different ways.